Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machin Leira online smicha. We know from many halachas how important it is, the responsibility every Yid has for another Jew to do the right thing. On making sure that everybody, a fellow Jew, is able to fulfill all mitzvahs, and there is the loyalty, the responsibility, the arvus that we take for each other to make sure that everybody has what they need. It's not I take care of myself and I'm good, but you have to make sure that your fellow Jew also, as much as you're able to, performs the mitzvah. Now we find a fascinating rush. In Klal Tzad Gimel, Oiz Gimel, the rush says like this. This was a story that somebody had a nice library. He was a collector of books, he had a nice library. And there were people that wanted to use some of the Svarim to study and research or whatever. And the guy wasn't very comfortable allowing his Svarim to be used. So the Rosh brings over there that there was a dayan that gave the owner of the library a knas. Gave him a knas of Asara Zehuvim, 10 golden coins. And he said, that's not the way to behave. The only thing you could demand is to find out how expensive the books are, and anybody, you must let them use it. You must let them use the Svarim. And the only thing is that if the Svarim get ruined, then they're responsible to pay. In other words, if you want to ask them to set a deposit, put it down, guarantee for the amount of the value of the sefer, that you could have. But to withhold, not allowing a person to use the Svarim, that's not allowed. And he even gave somebody a knas. The Gra in Siman Kuf Mem Zayin says that the reason for this is because there's a mitzvah of tzedakah, and the mitzvah of tzedakah is so strong that the halacha states that koifin, you're allowed to force somebody to, if you know that he has the means to give and he's just being cheap, Bezdin has the powers to force the person to give tzedakah. So similar to this, says the Gra, somebody who has many svarim, as Chazal say, that anybody who writes a sefer and lets people use it, it's bechlal, it's included in ois tzedakah b'chol eis. You're doing kind acts. So if you're allowed to force somebody to give his share of tzedakah, being that letting people using your svarim is in the realm, in the category of tzedakah, you could force for that too. You could force the person to let people use his svarim. Now, I underline that according to this, it's even forcing. Not only he should, but somebody, somehow, Bezdin will have the power to force the person to do it. Now the question is, why did the Rosh have to give a knas? Why couldn't the guy just, whoever wanted a sefer, just by hook or by crook, by force, go and take it? If there is a legal halachic right for anybody to use a sefer because the guy has to do so, so that the answer is because you can't do it on your own. Bezdin could force the person to do what his responsibilities are. You are not the world's policeman to say, since I need a sefer, I'm going to take it by force anyways. Bezdin could, when they find out that this person is not allowing people to use the svarim, Bezdin has the rights to force him because it's like kfiyah on tzedakah. Now we know that b'chlal there is the rule that nichalei la'adam lasis mitzvah b'maynoi, that a person really doesn't mind if a fellow Yid does a mitzvah with something that belongs to him. If I could help somebody else to perform a mitzvah, unless it's going to get damaged or whatever, but now we're saying that he anyways has to take responsibility for the loss. So the Achrayim talk about this discussion that the Rosh just said, and the Vilna Gaon talks about, that you could force somebody to make sure he gives out his svarim for people to use. Is that something specifically for svarim? Because as mentioned, the sefer is bechlal ois tzedakah b'chol eis. it's a kind act of tzedakah, you could force tzedakah, or is this for any item? Any item means anything of kedusha. Let's say if somebody needs a lulav, and you have the lulav, do I must give him that lulav to use? Or could I say, I like to keep things for myself? So this is where the balance is between an act of tzedakah where there's kfiyah, and the act of using something for a mitzvah where you cannot force me to give it, but we assume that nichalei la'adam, an average person doesn't mind if somebody else uses his items to do mitzvahs.